Hello, I'm Bridget.
I'm Sam.
I'm Peter.
We're going to be discussing the Raven Boys today.
I'm Maggie Stiefvater.
Yes.
Let's,
Okay, so first we're just going to sort of discuss what we thought of the book. So I really liked this book. It wasn't like my favorite book of all time, but I liked it, and I gave it an 85% and 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5 too. Oh,
yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I wouldn't like put it with my favorites, but I did really like it. Like I said in the last live show, I'm a huge mythology geek. And I really like the northern mythologies of Europe, so this was very interesting.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Okay, so now we can discuss the characters. So there is a lot of characters in this book
yeah.
that you sort of had to remember, and that made it sort of hard because whenever they would discuss one of them, then you had to like remember like, okay, this is so and so, and they have like this whole backstory. And it was cool how she had all of them being really unique and different and stuff, but at the same time, there was a lot of characters.
Yeah, when I was reading it, it took me a while to like figure out who was who. Um, I knew there was Gansey because of the Gansey that's all there is, that whole thing. But it just took me like at least 5, 10 chapters, at least, just to sort out all the characters, their names, how to pronounce their names, stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
I feel like I really like how she does her characters in all of her books, but I feel like we should have seen a bit more of Blue's family. Like we see some of the people in her house, but we don't know if that's like all that there is, or if there are like a dozen more female relatives.
Yeah. Also, I felt like some of it was like sort of quick, like it was like, okay, suddenly they're here. Like, okay. Okay, now plot. So I gave that a 16 out of 20 because I go out of 20s, and I gave that like a 3/4 of a star. And it was really intriguing from the beginning, and like you found out a lot more as you went on, and the farther you read, the more you found out, which was cool. And it really picked up towards the end, and I really wanted to just start the next book, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I really liked the plot also, and I did find it like I was kind of confused in the beginning. I think like everything was confusing in the beginning, and then slowly as it went on, it became more clear as you figured out more. I think she did that on purpose. I don't think it was just a mistake. I think she wanted you to go into it not knowing anything.
Yeah.
So
Like each two in. I feel like it was a bit slow, but yeah, like Bridget said, as you go on, it gets more. The plot kind of thickens, and that really made it enjoyable. Like the more I went in, the more I found that I was liking it. And after I finished it, I kept thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to talk about setting. So, some of it was really well done. Like the forest, what you could really picture that really well, and it was just really thought out how you saw it. And then like the man-mouth manufacturing was like you could clearly picture how all that was when Blue walked in because he put a lot of thought into how the whole place was laid out. But like at the same time, they talked a lot about Aglion but we never really saw it. Like they talked about how this was like a rich school kid and all the prestigious people went there, but you never actually saw like school that much because they never went to school.
yeah, and that's one thing I was always like wondering if she was going to have like the actual part of the book where they're at school, but that never happened. It was interesting, but yeah, she's very evocative for her language, and I really liked that. It was very different. Everything about this book was just very different, and I liked it a
Well, I'll
lot.
be back in like 2 minutes, probably.
Okay. Now do we want to talk about writing?
Oh, but we should let Sam answer it when he gets back, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just talk about writing really quickly though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like she had a really unique sense of like style in her writing.
I loved her style.
Like it was just really interesting how she described different things, like the conversations between the characters, and like how you saw the reactions between all of them.
Yeah, she's very witty.
Yeah.
Like, for example, whose girlfriend was it that she like referred to as girlfriend?
Twins.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. No, I liked there was this one part at the end when they're all reburying Noah's bones.
Yeah.
And Ronan's like, well, I hope he likes it. I've pulled a muscle.
Yeah.
Genji scoffs. He's like, doing what? You were standing watch. And he's like, opening my hood. Did a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't really like Ronan, but I thought he was very well done as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What did you think about the setting?
No,
We've got to let him answer first.
I feel like the town itself was good, but yeah, like you said, we never really saw a lot of the school.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the natural parts. I connected that also with Shiver by the same author, and here there's like also a lot of imagery with forests and woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was it called? The wood part? Was it like Greenwater? I think.
Oh, caves water.
Water. Yeah.
Yeah. I know all of this. I just finished. Oh, okay. So Peter, what did you think about the writing? You didn't.
The writing? Wait, I think we talked about the writing, I thought.
Oh, okay. You finished your answer for that. What did you think about it, Sam?
As someone who doesn't really like notice writing, I thought it was okay. But like, I don't have any sense of how good writing is, so liked it.
Mm-hmm. Just like the style is what I was talking about. Like, I like the style of it. Okay. So now we're gonna talk about like how much we enjoyed it, like the experience of like sort of reading it and stuff like that. In the beginning it was slow, but I was expecting that because whenever I heard people talk about it, they were always like the beginning's really slow, so you've gotta like make it past that, and then it picks up, and it did really pick up, and towards the end it was just like you want to find out what happens, and there was like really great world building with all the magic systems and everything, and I really want the next book. Well, I already have the next book, but I want to read it because, like, the ending was like, what?
Yeah, it was I was very confused at the end. I kind of knew what it was because
You Googled it.
a couple of things, yeah, and I accidentally got like spoiled again. The same thing happened with the Red Period. I always get spoiled for things.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, I will be more careful. But yeah, the beginning was sort of ambiguous, and then and very slow. But then as it went on, I really enjoyed it. And this is one of the books that will remain on my shelf. So.
Wow.
For me, it didn't like go slowly at the beginning and then kind of steep up. It was like on and off for me. Like from the beginning, I was kind of interested, and then there were parts where I thought that it was a bit slow.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys want to talk about something in particular? Have anything?
Let's see.
I'm sure there's, there's I just.
Talking about each of the Raven boys, I guess.
What?
What did you think about Noah? Did you know he was dead from the beginning or not?
I always knew there was something up.
Yeah.
Like, I knew there was something going on. I wasn't sure if it was that like he was like a bad guy and so he had like magical powers or something, or if he was like animated or something like that. But I knew there was something up.
I thought from like the beginning even when they found like his wallet in the body, I was like, Well, there's this whole time mix-up thing, so maybe like in the future he gets
That's what I
killed,
thought.
and then the
Yeah, like,
body's
you think
there,
that, but,
and then
like,
they all jump to the conclusion that Noah is obviously dead, and I was like, whoa, where'd you get that from?
yeah, like for me, I was like, all right, either he like died a couple seconds ago and then it like transported them into the future, or he killed someone.
Well, because it like stopped time and stuff, so I was like, well, maybe
Yeah,
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 in the future, and then now they're in the future, and then they're gonna like come back or something.
He said that like he was dead for 7. He like near the beginning he says that he's dead, but no one took him seriously.
Yeah,
Thought it was like a joke.
yeah.
When we like find out, that was when I really started to fly through this book.
Yeah. And then, what did you guys think of Ronan?
I I didn't, I didn't like him. Well, I think no, you're not supposed to like him. He's supposed to be very unlikable, and I think that's like the whole thing with his character because he's just very sort of twisted.
Mm-hmm.
But I like how she wrote his character,
Mm-hmm.
because he's probably one of the more complex characters in the book,
Yeah.
especially what he says at the end.
Yeah.
But let's not, if people haven't read it, let's not spoil anything yet.
Well, you should have read it by now.
Yeah.
You're watching the live show.
I read like the synopsis for book 2, and that like focuses on Ronan, and I'm kind of excited for that.
Does it? I haven't read the synopsis yet.
Yeah.
But I just know that it's called The Dream Thieves, and he talked about the dream. And I was like, okay, it's gonna be more about that. I mean, I get where you're coming from that you don't like him, and you're not supposed to really like him, but as Blue sort of gets to know him more and stuff, you sort of grow to like his character a lot more towards, like, it's a steady slope up. Like, you like him more towards the end. And I thought the parts with him and the baby raven chainsaw were really cute.
Yeah.
Like, he's like supposed to be this tough guy, and then he's like it's taking care of this little baby. Okay. Okay.
Hold on a second. Alright, got it.
What do you think, Sam? Did you say? What?
Of Ronan specifically,
Yeah.
like there's hints of his backstory. You remember when he's like with Blue's family and
Mhm.
kind of like reading him, and I kind of wanted to know more about that, but we didn't get to yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wiki spoiled that for me too.
Same.
So yeah, I was like, wait, what? Because I decided to look at everything on the wiki when I was still confused. So I was like, what if I just missed something? And like,
No, you don't do that. That's like the principle
I'm terrible.
of books. Don't wiki it. What did you guys think of Adam?
He was cool.
There's
mean,
a lot.
He was the nice one, I think.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's not that I dislike his character, but I feel like I don't really know that much. I know that he has like a really like messed up situation and all that.
Yeah.
But other than that, you don't really know like
Mhm.
you don't really get that far into his personality.
Yeah.
Well, we see he kind of reminds me of Hermione because he's really like earthly and doesn't really want to believe in what he can't see.
Yeah. Like, you sort of felt like you knew him as you're reading, but then towards the end, especially when Blue goes, like, I don't actually really know that much about him, like, when he's sacrificed himself and everything, it's just like, I don't really know that much about him. And it's like, that's true. We just know that he has a terrible family life, and he wants to be independent. Like, that's it. And he doesn't have any self-confidence.
Yeah, but the part where he sacrificed himself, I was really confused with what was going on. Because then, like, he didn't die, so then what happened? Did he, like, turn into...
I thought that it was, like, he sacrificed himself, and then the ley line was, like, taking control of him. But then he still seemed like himself.
It was sort of vague.
Yeah, he was still being himself.
And so then, yeah, I don't know if, like, if she did that on purpose and like she just like trusts that you'll read the next one, which I do want to read the next one now after reading this. Yeah. If nothing, just because I want to figure out what's going on.
No, but also I felt like the being vague about it. It hold on, words. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah. Take your time. Take your time.
I
We
feel
have an
like
hour.
he maybe like since he sacrificed himself and no one else was like there to like force sacrifice like Neve was gonna do with that guy, the teacher guy. I don't even
Well,
remember.
Welk.
Yeah,
yeah.
like how she was gonna do it, but no one sacrificed themselves. Like he sacrificed himself on the line, and he was like, "I give myself up" and everything. And the line gives the person who sacrifices and the two people who sacrifice themselves like a blessing. Like they gave Noah the ability to live like with a body and everything. But
Yes.
Oh,
the
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
so I feel like maybe him, since he was the only one who did any sacrificing, that he was allowed to stay alive and sort of he gets control of the ley line and stuff. I feel
Yeah.
like that was their
Like,
sacrifice.
for all we know, in the next one, he could have like superpowers and stuff,
I think that's what's gonna happen.
and
That's
then
what I
go like
thought.
into these really like derp moments where he's being possessed by the ley line.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
then, what'd you guys think of Gansey? Because we're gonna leave him for last.
I I had very mixed feelings. I could never make up my mind about Gansey because like I knew that like he was good and that there was what I mean. There was like
Hmm.
yeah.
he kind of had to be good, but then he was like really just an awful person.
Yeah.
At least in the beginning, President Cell Phone. So
I love that whole part
yeah,
with her.
yeah,
Like, oh my god, he's such a jerk. I don't even know. Can't talk to him. He's And then she found out that that was Nancy.
it's quite good crap. And then
Um,
it said something like, now she knew that the way how Gansey was going to die was like by her strangling him or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, there was like a moment where like when she found out that he was President Cell Phone, she's like, oh, so he's going to die because I'll strangle him.
Yeah. No, I just like that whole relationship thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, at first I thought, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
that I liked how she was like just didn't understand him, and she didn't understand how their relationship would work out. That he would die, and he was somehow involved with like him dying or something.
Yeah. Now I've been kind of thinking about that like ever since the beginning when it said that he was going to die. I was like, so like, is she actually going to kill him off, or is she going to make it that like someone else died in his place, or is like something? And so like the thing is, I don't want her to kill him off, but at the same time, I feel like it would kind of be a cop out for her to just be like, oh look, he's okay, you
Yeah,
know. So I wonder.
complicated reason on why he was able to survive.
Yeah.
We may need to do a live show on one of the other ones.
Like the last one, because the last one's coming out this year.
It comes out in February. It got pushed back.
So
Let's not do it like that soon because
we can do it in February.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad about that because it means I have more time to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody else is just like screaming.
Yeah, because they've already finished like the 3 books.
Yeah.
I feel like once I finish the 3rd book, I'm gonna be like, I need the next one, but it's not gonna be here.
Gansey, like, he reminded me a lot of Jace in the beginning of Mortal Instruments because he's like really angsty.
And Will.
And I hope that he becomes better because otherwise I cannot see them together. I like Blue and Adam together. I
Yeah.
think they kind of fit.
I feel like there's a whole other side to him that we don't really see, and she hints at the other side, like the nicer version of him that he sort of hides. And I feel like if we could just sort of break down that wall that sort of he has over
It's
himself.
bound to happen. I mean, like when they show a gun in the first act, they're going to use it in the second act. I don't know,
Yeah.
but that whole thing. So
Yeah, so I feel like he's got a lot of growing to do, because you got another 3 books that he can completely change personality. And I feel like he could really change for the better, because you do see hints of him being like a good person underneath the whole persona. So,
yeah,
like, he could be a good person.
yeah,
And I could see them together if they like got better and stuff.
Yeah. So sorry about all the noise, guys.
Sorry for the getting up.
That's okay. I'll just be here. Okay, so what did you guys think of Blue and all her situation?
I thought she was very interesting. You know, like how she makes her own clothes and stuff. Um, and you know, it's sort of funny because it's like, you know, she lives with a family of psychics, so naturally she like people will think of her as being like odd, but then she like is odd anyway, you know. And yeah, she's
I like
very.
how she's, sorry.
No, what were you gonna say?
I like how she accepts that she's odd and like even when she was in like elementary school, she was like, "Yeah, I'm weird. It's gonna just happen."
Gonna
And
happen.
then she got to high school, or no, she got to middle school, and everyone was like, "Weird is so cool." And then she was like, she had all these like options of having friends when no one wanted to be her friend before, but she sort of realized that she didn't want friends that like that because she was fine with like her family and everything like that
Yeah.
because they were her friends.
Yeah.
I think she has a good attitude about how she's not like she has a good attitude about how she's with them by extension, but she's not really one of them.
Yeah.
I think she's kind of I don't know if I want to say strong, but she's really resilient.
Independent.
Yeah, independent.
Yeah, she is.
hmm And then what did you guys think of the whole her kissing the boy and then him dying, her true love? What
Funny
was that?
story. Before I started following Maggie Stiefvater on Tumblr, and she posted mark this as a day. I wrote
Spoilers!
what?
Spoilers! Go on.
It's like a vague one. Like she wrote a kiss into book 4, and then a second later, she posted a screenshot of everybody reacting very badly to that. And she's like, you know, you've done a good job setting up the world when this is the reaction when you write a kiss into your last book.
No!
Yeah. I think Gant's gonna become the Raven King somehow. I don't
Yeah.
even know.
There's another title of the last book. Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, I always like to think of these sort of plot twist, you know, plot twist. He is Glendower. You
Or
know,
like Glendower is like comes him. Like they merge.
yes, yes.
I have that theory, but I also have the theory that Glendower is Blue's father. So those don't really go together.
For
Well,
a second there in like the middle of the book, I thought that maybe her father was Adam's father. I was
no,
like, I think really they're related, and then they can't be together.
I think I have that thought too. Yeah.
Just because they said that they have like the same color hair and stuff, so I was like, maybe they're related.
that would be a little creepy, but yeah.
Yeah, well, they don't know that they're related.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the Mortal Instruments.
Yeah, I don't mean they're doing something messed up. I just mean that would be really awkward.
Sorry, we can't actually date because we're actually related.
Oh gosh. It's City of Ashes all over again.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
That's second to bottom on my list of more Lindstrand's books.
Yeah. And then, like, that whole thing, though, with her killing the person, I don't know.
Killing the
It forces her to it makes it so romance isn't going to overpower everything else in the book.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is kind of a good thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, she's got this relationship with, like, Adam, and then she's sort of got a relationship with Canty, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, she
can't
knows
do anything, because,
in a relationship with Adam, and she knows she's going to be in a relationship with Gansey.
yeah, it's like nothing can really actually happen. Because,
Or that she just kills him. We don't know that they're going to fall in love yet, but
Yeah, because
yeah, but,
they
you know,
never actually said
he doesn't seem like the murdering type. I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah.
He just annoyed me so much.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I felt about that whole her murdering. What'd you guys think of the Welk, that guy?
I liked him at first, and then I didn't.
Hmm.
He was always very shady, you
Yeah.
know, and like he's kind of pathetic, Like I mean, he like kills people and stuff, but then he's kind of just very like, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like that one character who's he's way too self-seeking, and at the same time, he's not that like willing to go to like any means necessary. He's like,
But he killed
Yeah,
Noah.
he's not willing to sacrifice anything, um,
yeah,
like that could damage himself. But then he will like do whatever it takes otherwise to get what he wants, and so that
like he's not really that balance of like greedy and cowardly.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was like in the beginning when we first met him, I was like, I don't understand where you're coming from, man. And
yeah.
I was sort of confused about his character.
I was like, who are you?
Yeah,
I was
like
like,
he started. He was like, "Whoa, Gansey is all into
Yeah,
this
like,
AI stuff," and I was like,
at
"What?"
first I was just like, okay, which characters are the ones on the cover? And I was like, is Welk one of these people? Yeah, maybe he's the one with the long black hair. I don't know. And so that was basically like the first whole 20 chapters of the book, just me trying to like put names to faces.
Okay, do you guys know? Do you guys remember when Welk like walks beside them and he asks what they're talking about, and Ronan says something in Latin that makes Welk go away?
Yeah.
I just loved that Ronan was actually really good at Latin, and that was the one subject he was actually good at.
That's something I like about his character because he seems like this very like he doesn't care about anything. He doesn't
He knows Latin, so that takes a lot of effort.
He's like the most fluent in Latin, so it like shows that he actually like can know things.
Yeah, like he translates things in an instant.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he says is, "I'll show you yours if you show you mine. If you show me mine. If no wait,
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
was
yeah,
I love that whole dynamic of him
I know.
being good at Latin.
If he thinks it's pointless, he doesn't do it. I kind of admire that.
Yeah, because he has that attitude of not caring about anything, but he has to care at some level because he cares enough to actually learn like a whole language.
Yeah.
And then what did you guys think of the whole him almost getting kicked out and then Gansey bribing the principal?
Yeah, for me, that was just kind of like a part of the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really have like a major reaction to it. I was like, all right, yeah, he's failing. They're gonna kick him out, and then he's like, no, I'll make sure he does better. So I don't know. I didn't really have much of a reaction.
No, the only reason I had a reaction to it is just like, yeah, I'm just gonna bribe you with $30,000, you know.
Yeah.
I just have that lying around. And then his dad came into the car, and I thought he was gonna be like, hey, can I have $30,000? So then he didn't mention it at all. I was
That
like,
was the plot for the rest of the book. Him trying to get the $30,000.
like they have that on like those shows when they're like, we need to make this money, so he has that much money that he can just throw away $30,000. What else did you guys want to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, like I was very interested by the whole mythology aspect. I don't think I really had an organized thought about it, other than just it was so cool, So, um, like with the I don't know. I didn't really know anything about like Welsh mythology, and so I learned a little bit about it, and then like all the the ley lines, um, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Oh, and what's the guy's name? Is it Doctor, the British guy?
Oh,
No, no.
Yeah. I always liked when like he would have the conversations,
yeah.
I liked how Gansey was like, "You're Jade now," and she was like,
Jade.
"I'm not responding to that." But by the end, she was like, "Yeah, what do you want, Gansey?" And then when she was on the phone with him, the British guy, And he was like, what? He was like, who are you? And she was like, I'm blue. And he was like, what? And he just kept repeating the wrong thing. And she was like, blue. Then she finally said, Jade. And he was like, okay, I thought you were saying blue for a second. That was weird.
Yeah, I love like when she would do stuff like that, because yeah.
It added a lot of humor to the story. I felt like. What else did you guys want to talk about? Because I've come up with a bajillion topics.
I'm like flipping through and seeing things.
I'm having some trouble hearing you guys because there's a lot of echoing in here.
Noise.
So if I like don't answer right away, that's because I didn't realize you were like talking to me. So, I don't know. There's. Okay, let's talk about Neve. She's so like yes, and I can't tell if she's like good or not.
Neve?
Neve, yeah.
Neve.
The aunt person.
Yeah, Neve. Who's really famous.
Yeah.
I don't know how I felt about her.
Yeah, because like I like her. Like I think she's like I find her funny.
Mm-hmm.
Not like she's purposely funny. Like I just find her character like to be kind of amusing. But after the end I can't tell if she's good or not. You know?
It's like unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say that she seemed okay, and then she did that whole scrying thing, and I was like, I don't know about you. And then they were gonna go find out the stuff by looking through her stuff in the attic, and then she came up, and I was like, oh, it's all ruined.
Like when in any TV show or movie or book has that ever worked?
I know.
Yeah, I think she's just.
But the psychics, they can predict that she's gonna come home early.
Yeah. But I think she's just going to be one of those characters where you can never decide if she's good or not, you know?
Yeah, and then I was confused at what happened at the end. Like.
Yeah, the end was very like fast-paced in relation to the rest of the book, and it ended very suddenly.
Yeah.
It was very ambiguous. That's like the beginning. It has an ambiguous beginning and an ambiguous ending.
And also, there was the whole thing where she like. Hold on, I've gotta think of what it is. So she was sitting on the ground, like with Welk was about to like stab her or whatever, and then Adam came up and he was like, "What are you doing here?" and stuff. But then Adam's like staring into Neve's eyes, and he sees like the black turban and all that stuff, and I was like, "How are you seeing all of this in her eyes? Like, how do you know this?"
Yeah.
I was confused.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
You don't have any magical abilities.
What?
You didn't have any magical abilities, but suddenly seeing all this stuff in her eyes, like, that just doesn't happen.
Maybe it's like, because we think maybe he like gains abilities from the ley line, but the ley line doesn't know that he hasn't gained them yet because the ley line is like timeless.
Oh.
And so when he's in the ley line, like, he doesn't know. It doesn't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. The powers anyway.
Yeah, and one thing like is because I already knew like a little bit about the northern mythologies and stuff. So when they went into the forest and the stuff started happening, like I immediately knew it was like one of those things where like the time is like totally like you lose all sense of time.
You know, like when they went to that tree, one of them like saw a woman.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it made me think of you guys. Do you guys watch Doctor Who? You guys do, right? Because yeah, it made me think of Bad Wolf. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
What
many.
woman are you talking about? No, it's look. What woman are you talking about?
It's like
a woman.
It happens once, I think, and like one of them has a vision of a woman.
I vaguely remember something about that. I just don't remember like what it was.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I was just sort of intrigued by the whole thing.
Okay. I also really liked Blue's mother.
Yeah,
She makes like a half-hearted attempt to control her, and then she just lets her do what she
It's
wants.
like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you guys think that whole tree thing, that now that we're on that, was about? Because I was confused
It was.
because they
It
all
was.
saw different things, but I was thinking that maybe that's like what they most fear.
Well, yeah,
But he saw Glendower, so he doesn't fear Glendower.
that's actually another mythological thing. Because what?
Spoilers, they don't know how to, we don't know.
Oh no! I'm just saying like because I don't think she would have like done it so that if you knew the mythology it would spoil anything. But like there's the whole thing where like in the woods like people lose sense of time, they hallucinate, and so a lot of like old pagan religions, they thought that like that actually meant
Kind of
something.
soft and noise.
It's all of the psychic stuff that Laura does and Eve does. So,
Yeah.
It's like there was something in a book that I read this month, like you look into this thing that gives you visions, and it's specific to the user, kind of.
Like Harry Potter.
Uh,
You're
the ever said yes.
oh yeah. Well, except like it's more vague, like it's something random that has something to do with you, but you have no idea what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of authors will borrow from each other and borrow from like mythology and stuff.
But
And so
also,
it's very interesting to see
I
that.
didn't understand, like, if we're talking about something happening like that, but Adam saw himself killing Gansey,
Oh
but
yeah.
Blue also saw herself kissing Gansey, which would end up killing him. So I was like, what? But maybe, I'm just, maybe he kisses
She and Adam are
Gansey and
siblings.
Adam gets pissed off, so that Adam murders Gansey.
Oh, what I thought you were going to say is like they in that like is foreshadowing to show that they are siblings and like it's like
Oh.
their bloodline or something.
I thought, no, I was like,
It could just it's very it's very vague and I think that's the whole point of it. It take a while to finally like make sense.
but it could be that, like, well, also, it could happen that way too, that they end up being brother and sister.
Or
But
they're the same
then
person.
she kisses Gansey, and then he kisses off because he's like an overprotective brother. But
Yes.
also, they're the same age. Maybe they're like twins.
Or what could happen is like they aren't actually related, and he and Blue kind of get to be like an actual thing, and then Gansey's just like, oh hey,
Yes.
I'm going, and then they kiss,
He gets
and
pissed off at him and he murders him.
and so Blue indirectly killed Gansey because she's like, oh Gansey, I'm going to kiss you right now.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
She kissed him, then Adam, yeah, so.
Yeah, and Adam gets all pissed off because he's like, oh my
I'm
god,
sure
how
that
could you
would
do this to me, Gansey? But I feel like that's a bit of a strong thing to be like, oh my god, you kissed my girlfriend.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna murder you now.
well, maybe it could have been the ley line possessing him. He could have been like, must kill Gansey.
Taking control of him, and then he would murder
Yeah.
Gansey. Like,
It kind of makes me think about in Lord of the Rings, the movies. This didn't happen in the books, but like whenever Frodo would get possessed by the ring, and then he would like bring all this derp stuff.
oh, something else that I thought was interesting was when they were shoved into the tree at the end, sort of. You know what I'm talking about? When they're at the end and Adam sacrificed himself, and they're like, go into the tree because it'll save you. And then Blue saw the vision of her and Gansey, and they were like there together. And Gansey also saw the same exact thing. But Ronan was there too. I was like, what does he see? You know what I mean? What did you think of that?
Like, wait, like with Ronan specifically, what he was seeing?
I mean, he's obviously not seeing them because they're not like.
Yeah.
He's not in the picture.
Let's see. That's, it says that like beside her, Ronan breathed a soft swear word. Maybe that's like a reaction to what it was, what he saw.
Yeah. But like, Gansey didn't even really pay attention to what he was seeing. He just was focused on getting Adam, but he did see the same thing. So I was wondering if that would maybe come into play later on, like in the next book, maybe that they're like, we saw the same thing. Oh my gosh.
And
I like the dynamic between Ronan and Adam, like because they on the surface they hate each other, but like they
Yeah.
really like Adam sacrifices himself partially to save Ronan as well as the rest of them. When he could just like sacrifice Ronan if he wanted to.
Sacrifice you. No, but Adam's a nice person, so he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and I think
That's
like
principles.
they're all kind of friends because like they're all friends through Gansey. So I think it's it's just sort of like that kind of thing where they're just kind of friends because of that, even if they don't like each other, which is
Yeah.
that.
But I feel like they learn to like each other and they know each other's sort of flaws and stuff.
You have to kind of wonder how like they all met Noah, whether he just like where they first saw him because.
I'm thinking that like maybe he pretended like when they all started at school, then he probably like pretended just to be like another what is it, like freshman? Is it high school?
Yeah,
Like high school.
but wouldn't the teacher when he recognized him and be like, "What are you doing here? You're dead."
Yeah. Well, I think they said like they didn't know any of his classes, so maybe he just wasn't there when they went around.
Yeah, because I think like they didn't actually like take any classes with him. They just kind of knew him.
He had the Agliandi sweater thing with the raven, so they figured he went to their school and stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously, if he goes to their school, he has to go to their classes, assumption.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that he ended up, obviously not by coincidence, that he was the one who, killed, and then he ended up becoming friends with the Raven Boys and stuff, who had him as a teacher.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there is like a little more to it, character, There's always more to dead people. So.
Yeah. But also, I figured out after we realized that he was dead, that it was interesting that he didn't go to the reading.
Oh.
With, Blue and her parents, and her mom and her aunts, because he wasn't there. It was just Ronan, Gansey, and...
Oh yeah, she said like the the smudgy looking kid wasn't there.
Yeah. No, I didn't pick up on that until after.
On his face or like.
Yeah, but that's because he was afraid that he would get recognized.
Well, yeah, he would have been recognized. Like if you're like, oh, guess what? You're dead.
Stalker.
I think it's like I had something. Oh yeah, like with the reading, because if you don't know about that giveaway, especially like the Raven Boys who were alive, they gave off such powerful energy that they had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to wonder how it would work with a dead person. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the whole relationship between Blue and Noah because he got energy from her, and it clicked to me after we realized that he was dead and he needed energy. That's why he liked her so much when they first met, because he liked her because he was getting energy so he could stay visible easier, and so it was like had that relationship, and then he touched her hair and stuff.
It's like
more energy.
Sorry, what?
Just talking about Noah and Blue and the energy giving.
Yeah, it seems almost like he sort of became like her pet dog,
It says Labrador.
Yeah, right. And so he was just kind of like acting like that, like he could talk and stuff, but he had that sort of like relationship with her. It was very interesting.
But you could tell why at the end.
Yeah. People will be messaging me. Oh, my cousin would like to know what the link is. Do I just
Yeah, it says links, and then you can like go to the YouTube one.
go to the what?
Well, it says links at the bottom right-hand corner,
Ah,
and
okay.
then you can play the YouTube page, and then on there it'll have it and stuff.
All right, yeah. We can keep going. I'll just.
Okay. Well, oh, I felt so. I feel like in the next book they're going to find Glendower just because he was like the trees were talking about how we know where what you want is at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like. It's one of those things where just because you never know what's going to happen, and so you don't know if it's like if Glendower is going to be like the climax of the series, like they finally find him, or like they find him in the next book, and then like that causes a whole new
Those
plot.
are just
I
whole
think,
other thing.
huh?
Like they find him and then there's like this whole other thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's totally
that's what,
uncovers like like why he went to sleep and that whole thing.
yeah, that's what I think's gonna happen. Like, there's gonna be like this whole thing after they find him. That's gonna happen. And then I want to find out more about Ronan because, like, at the end when he was like, I brought him from my dreams. I brought Chainsaw the Raven from my dreams. I was,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
What? You don't do magic, man. You can't do that.
It's that I
Really?
looked at the wiki because I know like some other stuff about that. I
Spoilers.
don't want to say anything.
Maybe, because I didn't read the wiki and get spoiled. Maybe Ronan is actually like Glendower, but he's like awake for some reason. I don't know how he got woken up, but maybe he's
Yeah,
actually Glendower.
with what's her name from the Red Pyramid?
Let's see.
Was it the character that was like asleep and then like
Oh, I don't remember her name.
yeah,
It's like Susanna, I think.
Yeah,
One that ended up being like a wax figure.
yeah. No, I feel like maybe Ronan has like the spirit of Glendower in him or something like that, because he can speak fluent Latin and all that stuff. So obviously he's got some ability. And then he said he could do magic. So
would Glendower have known Latin?
Glendower has magic.
Yeah, I guess, and yeah, if he could probably speak to the trees and the trees.
I'm assuming he could speak Latin because he's been asleep for a while. He has a lot of time to do stuff.
Yeah. Like he channels himself into people and gains their knowledge.
Yeah, and also it could have been that like when he was over in the other place where he was alive, they could have like known Latin for some reason that I don't know, but they could have learned Latin and then he died. And
in Wales.
Yeah, that would have been like
Yeah.
the 900s-ish.
Um,
I think Latin had spread pretty far by then.
yeah, I mean, like Latin was basically the language of educated men. So
yeah, so he would be educated because he
Latin,
was learning. So he would know Latin, and then he goes into Ronan's body, so Ronan automatically knows Latin, and then he can do magic and bring little ravens to life.
yeah, it's interesting just how many like different possibilities there are.
But this is another. But he couldn't have gone full. Like it couldn't be fully Glendower because he still got Ronan's attitude and his whole past. And if it was Glendower, then he would be like wiser.
Yeah, he's like a host, you mean? Like in the Red Pyramid.
Yeah, except it's not. It's like it's Ronan, but then he's got like the ability.
Yeah.
Sort of like that.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm not going to say anything, but because I accidentally saw something on the wiki about the dream stuff that also has to do with Ronan, and so I still don't really get it completely. It's very confusing, but yeah, and it's such a weird way to end a book, and so like you just really
I know.
it was very risky.
But I was happy on like the second to last page because there was that whole Ronan moment, and I was like, oh yeah, that's good. Because they like got Noah back, and I'm reading the next page, and and then it's what confusion.
Yeah, it was a very risky book. Just kind of trusts that you will accept the way she ended it, and read the next one. And so I appreciate that, but at the same time, like, it's a lot of people probably wouldn't appreciate that. A lot of people would be like, why did you do that?
Yeah, but then that makes you want to read the next book.
So,
Are you sure that you're gonna buy the next one?
I did.
But like, oh, I'm confused.
what?
I'm confused.
Yeah.
I know.
Um.
Like, for the next week after finishing it, I kept catching myself thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was constantly thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. I mean,
Obviously, I just finished it yesterday, so I didn't have that much time.
yeah, I was afraid that I wouldn't get it done in time because I just like wasn't reading it. I read the first chapter, and after a week I read like the second chapter, and I just like wasn't reading it because I was doing other stuff. And then come the duodecathon, I'm like, oh, I'm going to read the whole the rest of the Narnia books and do the 1,500 pages thing. And I start reading that, I'm like, wait a minute.
1,200.
Oh, and I didn't know that the duodecathon had started. You were just like, what are you doing the duodecathon? I'm like, when does it start? And you're like, it started Saturday. I'm like, so I had started reading Narnia, and I was like, I don't have time for this. What am I doing? So
Wait, which
I
Narnia?
started reading this, and I
I'm reading that for like next month's duodecathon, I think.
Wait. Which one?
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't like my strategy this time because I started reading it on like last Monday or something. Yeah, I started reading it on Monday, and then I sort of panicked because I was like, I need to read this many pages every day to be able to finish it by Saturday so I can review it. And then yesterday I had like 200. No, not yesterday. On Friday I read, and then I had like 200 pages left, and I was like, I need to read all of these, and I just sort of panicked.
you were just like, I have like 120 pages left, and then like a little while later, I have 110 pages left.
Yeah, and then I finished it, and I was like, what? What? No.
I finished Beautiful Creatures like right before midnight. I just decided to stay up as late as I could and finish it, and it was pretty good. But the movie was.
I feel like my strategy for next month is going to be different.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it during the duodecathon, though.
Yeah, I decided what I'm going to do, like, just with every book that I read that I have a deadline for. The moment I get it, I'm going to preview it, look at the writing style, just like look at the writing style, see if it's a slow read, see if it's like a quick read, and then plan out the reading time. Because for this one, I expected it was just going to be, like easy in, easy out, get it done maybe in like a week or two.
Doesn't work that
So
way.
I may or may not be back by the end. I don't know, but we'll see.
And then like I read it and I'm like, like I only had like maybe 3 weeks to read it, and I was like, and I had like other stuff, and I was like, all right, I need to figure out how I'm gonna do this, and then I still wasn't reading it, and then like I had 2 weeks, and I was like, all right, I can do this. I'm just going to read it like every single day, and then I'm going to get it done, and I got it done.
When did you finish it?
What?
When did you finish it?
I finished it, I think, the day after the duodecathon ended.
Oh, okay. You were a lot more productive than I was. Okay, so what else did you think about this book? What was your favorite part?
What?
What was your favorite part?
I don't know. I don't think I had a favorite part because I liked the whole thing. Like, I didn't expect to like this book.
That's a cop-out answer.
What?
You're not actually answering something. I like the whole
Sorry. I really don't have a favorite part. Like,
now that I'm thinking about it a lot more, I actually really like Ronan's character.
Yeah.
He's got like reasons for being a jerk, and you see the other side of him when he's with that bird, and that's really cute. So I like him now.
Yeah, and like I didn't expect to like this book nearly as much as I did. Like with the Red Pyramid, I liked it no more than I expected it to. I was like, okay, this isn't Rick Riordan's best book, but it's Rick Riordan, so it's good. But with this one, I was like, wow, this is actually really good. I really like her style.
I thought you would like this one.
What?
I thought you would like this one when I picked it.
Yeah, and so.
It sounded like your type of book.
Yeah, and so I never really give books 5 stars unless it's like one of my favorites, like The Hobbit or one of the Harry Potter books or something like that. But I gave it 4 stars, maybe 4.5 stars if you could like do that. But you
I
can't.
didn't know 5 stars.
Yeah. So I really liked it.
Mhm. What did you think about that whole? Because I'm just going to talk about this again.
The
The whole
what?
triangle thingy. With the
Yeah.
Layla.
Yeah. Yeah. It was neat. I just it was one of those things where like it's sort of magic in a non-magical world,
Yeah.
you know? Because like it's like they're psychic, and so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, they're psychic, but then like the further you get into it, the more you're like, wow, this is actually like real.
Magical.
Like they're actually getting somewhere.
Yeah. But it took me. I was like 15 chapters in, and they're talking about this triangle thing. And I'm like, I don't know how to picture this triangle thing. What does it even look like?
But I think that's the reason why she shows you in every chapter.
I know, but I didn't even realize that was the thing. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to picture
I thought
it.
it was like,
What
what
is
is that, like claw
And then,
marks or something?
and he talks about it, and then you end the chapter, and I'm like, wait a second, this chapter thingy on each of the chapters is that thing that they were talking about for like 200 pages, and I didn't even realize.
So, do we want to take like the last couple of minutes to talk about this a little bit?
Okay.
Thinking, I like am on like the second page. I really like it so far.
I thought you would like this one too. I choose good books.
I like the very just
Yes,
these.
this is our next book. It's Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo.
Yeah, based on the cover, I could tell like it was going to be different. And it's very exotic, very it's sort of a breath of fresh air. 'Cause I'm not used to reading books like this.
Why?
What?
It looks pretty.
Yeah. Except I always get annoyed with these book covers because like they have fingerprints on them.
Oh.
Like I'll wash my hands before touching it, but my parents won't, and I'll be like,
Don't let
oh,
them
the
touch
book
it.
is on the counter.
No, that doesn't happen. You've got to keep them very nice.
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing, I whenever I buy a book, unless I've heard super amazing things about it by people who like only the books that I like, I will just buy a paperback copy that I'm not planning on keeping in the best condition, and then if I like it, I will then buy a hardcover.
Yeah.
That I keep in like the best condition possible.
It looks really nice, and I've heard a lot of people that they're like they love this series, and I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only a couple pages in, but I like it so far. I like the style, and it's very neat. It's very neat.
And I've heard that people like this one character called the Darkling.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I know absolutely nothing about it.
what?
I know absolutely nothing about it. So.
No, I only know that there's like a character called the Darkling that everyone loves, and then I think there's a character called Nikolai. I don't know if that's in this book.
Yeah, I don't know. I decided I'm going to try to go into this one completely blind.
Alina.
How that goes,
I'm pretty much going to this blind. I just know that a lot of people love this book, and
I've heard the title lots of times over the book.
It's really pretty. That's all I think.
It's an interesting cover. I like it.
Do you think that these thingies count as illustrations?
Oh.
Or no?
Why are you going to like make a comment about the illustrations?
What?
Oh, can I just say real quick how amazing this map is?
Where is that map?
It's like right in the beginning, right near the cover. It is so cool. Like the little deer things. Are those deer? I think they're deer. They look like deer. They could be some other deer-like animal, but they're just so cool. I love maps.
I don't know where the map is.
All right,
I found it.
And yeah.
Oh yeah, they look like deer.
Yeah.
They're probably not though, because it's like.
They look like
magic.
exotic deer. But isn't it such a neat cover?
Yeah.
It's very
Oh, and there's also, I like the ending. It says, not the ending of the book, but like.
No, I was like, did you read the end?
No, this I just saw it, and it was like this. Thank you. It's the acknowledgments, and it looks really pretty. Don't look at the end though. Spoilers.
So cool. Thank you, bloggers, for all your support. That's awesome.
Oh my God! Look. Rick Riordan. He blurbed it.
Did you really?
He said, "Bardugo crafts a first-rate adventure, a poignant romance, and an intriguing mystery all in one book."
Book! Exclamation point.
Exclamation
Who
point.
the funk it?
Ooh, that means that I'm really gonna like it, because I trust Rick Riordan. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think I'm going to like it.
But look at all these reviews in the front. I don't know any of these.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of her book, Linda Williams. Okay.
Alright, well, there's the Huffington Post.
Oh, and Veronica Roth blurbed it.
Who?
Veronica Roth.
Yeah.
And then there's Rick Riordan's again. Okay. I know, I'm gonna really like this book because Rick Riordan liked it.
Yes.
And so did Veronica Roth.
So, yeah. Do we have anything else that we haven't talked about?
Oh, one more thing. I like this cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that cover. I don't like it with all of them on the cover.
Yeah. No, I was gonna buy this book a while ago, but I was in Florida, and it was they only had it in paperback with the Floyds, and I was like, I want a nice hardcover.
Yeah.
You know what? Humans on the cover.
I think this made it take longer for me to read because I was trying to figure out who was who on this cover. I was
No,
like,
you don't study the humans on the cover. I think that's Rodin.
Yeah, it's like that whole thing, and so I'm not super crazy about the illustration. I love the raven. I love the scratch triangle thing, and it's really neat. But I'm just not super crazy about them on the cover, just standing there, you know.
I like this one. I like this too.
Yeah.
It's blue, and then the next one's red, and then the next one's green.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So with mine, from all the opening and closing and all that since paperback, it's been coming off a little bit, the paint, and it's like silver underneath. And so I'm like, what did they use to bind it? Because it is silver. Like even on the edges of it's silver, and so I'm like, huh. Anyway.
Oh, underneath the cover, it looks nice too. Because there's the triangle thingy again on the cover.
Yeah, mine is like that. Oh, hold on.
You can feel it.
Hold on a sec.
I'm alone now. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? This inside the jacket thingy. There's a triangle there. You can't see it.
What?
Oh, do you see it?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. So it's like a texture?
Yeah, you can feel it. It's cool.
That's cool. All books should be like that.
Yeah, I love it when they have something inside the dust jacket. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's neat. When I was younger, I hated the jackets. It wasn't that I didn't like what was on them. It was that just for some reason I was just I did not like them. I guess it was because they would always flap and stuff. So every book, you can tell I own a book from X amount of years ago because it doesn't have the jacket on it because I threw it out. Because for some reason I just didn't like it. So yeah.
I liked this book.
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah. Yes, I loved it.
Okay, I think that's where we're gonna end it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Thanks for joining us. Bye.